Good evening and welcome to Ringer Sports Studio. Today is Friday, October the 25th. I'm Ringer Senior and I'm here with
Ringer Junior.
Ringer Junior. We're broadcasting our Friday Night Lights edition at Ringer Sports Studio. If you hadn't had a chance to check us out, please do so. We're at Ringer Sports Studio, or you can find us at Twitter, Colin Ring 12, where we post videos on our YouTube channel, Major League Sports, Major League Baseball. We're hitting World Series kicking off tonight. Got the Los Angeles Dodgers against the New York Yankees. We're in the Dodgers hat, the Dodgers blue here tonight. Not that I'm a fan, but I do have Mario Jr.'s hat on that he picked up earlier last year. We've got college football action happening tonight. We'll be tuning up and getting ready for college football tomorrow, and of course NFL action on Sunday. So we record videos as often as we can, sharing our sides, totals, favorites, props, you name it. We like to talk about it, analyze some of our details and content that we're sharing with you. Ringer Junior's amazing in the lab, working at coming up with some really master picks. So we're on the docket here tonight. Pretty short card here tonight, although we got a massive 5% play. Probably been running a lot of 5% plays too frequent because we've taken hit the last two picks, team total picks that we've taken, and also the Syracuse game last night, which was one of my favorite 5% in the last 2 months, heading into Pittsburgh with the Pittsburgh Panthers undefeated. I was expecting a much better showing for Syracuse. They had 5 interceptions, 3 pick sixes. Their defense actually played really good. It would have been an absolute low scoring game. It would have been a 4 point game, not counting the defensive touchdowns that were given up going into the last drive. Syracuse had a hard time even moving the ball. They had long drives that turned into interceptions or turnovers, and we weren't even close. 41-13 final for Pitt, taking them to their continue with their undefeated season, which I believe is 7 or 8 still undefeated teams in the college football action. So World Series kicking off tonight. Huge matchup: Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. East-West battle. Two top teams kicking things off. Long, well rested time for both the pitchers and the team. So should be a very interesting matchup. I'll talk to you about one of those plays. I'll give you a couple leans on the other college football games that are kicking off tonight. And then Ringer Jr., he may have an NBA play that he might be looking at, but he has his big 5% play, which we'll both sort of talk about on what we like on that side. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it off to Ringer. You can give us your 5% play right off the hop. What do you got there, Ringer?
With
Junior?
my 5% play, I like the UNLV over 63.5. This opened at 66.5. It's actually gone down 3 points. I see this game being an absolute shootout, probably 41-38 around there, getting definitely into the 70s. Both these teams, top five scoring teams in the nation. Boise averaged 45, UNLV averages 40. They don't give up too many points, but Boise's defense hasn't played too many good teams this year. They gave up 37 to Oregon, and they actually scored 34 against Oregon, the number one team in the nation. So, I mean, I see them putting up 40 against a not too good UNLV defense, and probably UNLV putting up 34. So I love that over 63.5 for the 5% play.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Sharps brought this line down a full three total points. We got it in this one early. I thought this was actually going to move up into closer to 67 or 68. So we already got the 5% play in at 66.5. Probably going to put some more on the 63.5 before kickoff tonight. It looks like Sharps have brought this down, and I think for the sole reason that both teams are very strong in the running game. They've got, obviously, Boise State got Genty averaging 10 yards per carry, leading Heisman Trophy candidate right now, paying odds of 3.25. Expecting him to carry on to 175 or 200 yards. Problem with the running game is now with the new rules of the college football and the clock not stopping after first downs, it allows the clock to move quite a bit. And I read some articles and information with regards to team totals. Sorry, not team totals, but over totals being in the 60s, and it's like 62% to the under on teams that are over the 60s or 63% to the under. But in this specific game, I don't care what Sharps are doing. I think this is an absolute over game, no matter how you look at it. Even if they run the ball, they're going to get them in chunks. Um, as Ringer Jr. said, Boise State put up 34 to almost upset Oregon, the number one team, which is very skeptical as them being number one anyway. The stats would show they're not the number one team overall. They gave up 34 points they gave up 37 to Oregon and scored 34. Last week's game in Hawaii was get in, get out type of win where they only scored 28. We are expecting the team total to be a little bit higher than that, but that was a situation where they had to fly to the Lone Island in Hawaii and get in, get out with the win, which they did. But previous to that, 62, 45, 56, absolute offensive showing. Washington State's not a bad team. Utah State, not too bad, not great, but and their defenses are actually horrible. However, if you look at UNLV, they beat Oregon State 35-25. So they gave up 25. They gave up 34 to Utah State in a huge shootout. They gave up 44 to Syracuse and that home OT loss. That was an absolute shootout as well. And then 14 and 20 to Fresno and KU, which are not crazy offenses. So you're coming up against a number 17 Boise State here. Boise's going to put up at least 38, if not 41 points, as Ringer Jr. said. And even if UNLV scores 28, then you're at 66. 38-26 is 66, which is hopefully going to get a little bit higher than that because we're at 66.5. But 41-28, 38-30, 38-35, something like that is what's going to go down. Now, Boise's defense has only given up 7, 30, 24, 14, but also 34. So they've given up over 30 twice to two teams in Oregon and Utah State, and I really can't see this game. This seems to be like a last possession type of affair. I think they're going to be in the UNLV crowd. I've got a couple friends that are actually down there to the game tonight, all the way from Atlanta, Canada, and expecting Friday night lights to explode in Las Vegas with the fireworks that'll probably happen at some point in time during the night down there out in the desert. So Ringer Jr., it's an amazing pick. I think we're going to juice it up and put some more on that 63.5, and we could be wrong. Sharp Money's brought that down. It's not low enough. Any of the handicappers I follow and look at are all sitting on the over on this one. So I love that 5% play. All right, a couple leans. If you look at the other two games, college football games tonight, you've got Boston College hosting Louisville. Louisville's favored, road favorite, 7.5. Both teams are 4-3 record. I think Boston College has an opportunity to cover the 7.5 here at home. It's not an official play for us, but I would lean on this specific piece. They play really well in Chestnut Hill. It's a very tight environment, small arena or small stadium, and I think the crowd will be out there. Friday night game. Expect this game to be a very tight match. I think Boston College has an opportunity to upset here. If you are looking at it, you might want to sprinkle a little bit on the money line, but I like Boston College plus 7.5. And then the super late game, 12 a.m. or 11 Eastern game. We got Rutgers heading to California to USC. Playing in Los Angeles. Rutgers started out 4-0. Now they've lost 3 in a row. And USC is 3-4. They started out, I think they've lost 3 in a row as well. So they were sitting at 3-1, and they've lost 3 in a row. USC is a 14-point favorite. I think this just comes down to too big of a matchup for Rutgers. I think that Rutgers is in a lot of trouble from an injury perspective. They haven't been able to get it straight over the last 3 games. Very difficult to fly to the West Coast and play in different time zones. If I was to lean on this, I like USC covering the 13.5 or 14. And that game's being broadcasted on Fox. It'll be in a late night game. And hopefully we can stay up a little bit later and watch that UNLV matchup. So, Ringer Jr., anything else before I jump into the World Series?
Nope.
No, you're locked and loaded on Boise. So, all right, shifting gears. World Series, New York Yankees at the Los Angeles Dodgers. Wow, I think this is exactly what everybody wanted to see, especially the major networks that'll be broadcasting these games, especially Fox, which will be hosting the game tonight. I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Aaron Judge against Ohtani, 2 powerful players, and Juan Soto. Let's not forget Juan Soto. Be interested to see if the Yankees sign him. Here, lots of rumors that the Mets are going to pay big bucks to get Juan Soto. Should be really interesting. Interesting matchups. Lots of wait times, as I said. A lot of rest for the pitching staff. You don't know what Dave Roberts is going to do. I mean, he's won 2 games with an entire bullpen, going through 7 or 8 relievers. But I see both teams putting up some points, some runs, and I think both teams have been able to score runs in the NL and AL CS playoffs. The Yankees were averaging 6.5 runs per game. Sorry, the Dodgers were averaging 6.5 runs per game. Mookie Betts has got completely out of his playoff slump. He's been really hitting the ball really hard, and of course, 1 through 9 they got a strong lineup, as do the Dodgers. So I know we've got Garrett Cole on the mound tonight. I think he's 1-0 with a 3.2 ERA during playoffs, and then you look at Flaherty, who's sitting at a 1-2 with almost a 7 ERA, 6.9 ERA in the playoffs. I think he'll be on a short leash. I think both teams get off the nod here early. I know Cole's getting a little bit older. He's had a lot. He's had more experience in the playoffs overall, but I do think they're going to get to him. I know Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman have done extremely well against Cole. Not so much for Hernandez and Otani. Time to shine tonight. Offensive guys need to step up. I think this is going to be. The lines already came out at 7.5 on Monday. It's moved to 9. I ended up getting in at 8. So even 8's a push, but we got in at 8. And I'm going to play this as a 4% play, over 8.5, over 8, over 8.5. I'd play it up to 9, 4% play on the over. And I know a lot of folks that I watch are expecting a lot of runs scored in this series. They figure it's going to go 6 or 7. They're banking on 50 plus runs scored in the entire series, which tells us that there's going to be a lot of offense here. So I really like that. Another one to look at is with Mookie Betts heating up. Again, this is just a lean. I'd be looking at his total bases over 1.5. I think if he can get to Cole with at least one single, he might even get in the first inning with a double for 2 total bases. But I think if he can get one single off of Cole in 1 out of 3 times, he may get a late hit, another single, or possibly a double. This is actually plus money. I saw it 2.25 earlier today, so may end up putting a little bit on that. If I did, it would be a 1 or 2% play. So there you have it. There's our picks. Small card tonight. Friday Night Lights. Great opportunity to watch some college football throughout the evening, and obviously with Major League World Series action. So nothing on NBA tonight. Ringer Jr. I know likes to sit back and watch the teams play before he has any crazy analysis. But what I will say is he did post a video last night where he had Boston's team total over 22.5. But by the time we actually got the pick in, it was at 121.5. And our video said 122.5, but we were able to get in at 121. And ironically, the game finished at 122. It was trending to be way over, and then they were blowing Washington out and finished only scoring 24 points in the fourth quarter to finish at 122. But it was a winner for us. The opposite happened to us the night before, where on my video I posted 41.5 over in the Jacksonville State game on Tuesday night. And by the time I got to the window, it was 42.5. Instead of juicing it down back to 41.5, I played the 42.5, and sure enough, Jacksonville State finished at 42, and I actually posted it as a 5% play. So our video, it came in, but not on the actual books that we keep track of. So we're sitting our 5% plays at 24 and 10, 72.1%. 24 and 10. Our last 2 5% plays have been unlucky, but we're looking to get the quarter of the century mark on our 5% plays to get to 25 tonight, late night. I'll check the scores in the middle of the night to see if we're over that total. Fingers crossed. Be honest with you, I hope it's actually a 31-31 game and goes into overtime to guarantee the over. Is what I'm really hoping for. Is what I think will happen, or I hope will happen. But this actually could get over by the third quarter, to be quite honest with you. I can't see anybody slowing these teams down. If you look at Syracuse and UNLV game, 44-41 in overtime. That game was back and forth. I know the passing game for Syracuse was off the charts that night, but good luck stopping Genty. 10 yards per rush. They could just run him 50 times and get 500 yards on the ground if they really wanted to. So love it. Might be the play of the year, Ringer Jr. I don't know. What do you think? I know you've been all over Boise's overs all year long. Is it the play of the year for you? What do you think?
Yeah, since we started a couple months ago, yeah, 100%.
All right, pretty confident. I was really confident at Syracuse game last night too, but that didn't shape up too well. So can't win them all, but this one is going to be a big play for us. So please check us out on our YouTube channel. Give us a like. I know we're getting a few watch videos. Some of our videos are a little bit longer, so you want to stick around and watch them all. But we're getting some views. We're just trying to increase our content, increase our viewership. So give us a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get some alerts when we post, typically during the evenings before kickoff or before tip off, but that's where you'll find us. Ringer Sports Studio or Colin Ring 12, signing off. Like and cash them. Friday Night Lights. Have a great weekend.